Okay, welcome back, everyone. How long has it been since I've made one of these? Too long. Okay, anyways, so as you can see, we have a beautiful pile of books here, and you can also see my screens. And what I wanted to do today, because it's a little bit late in the year, or later, not late, later, I wanted to introduce you to what will be my next reading journey. So these are all the books that I want to be reading for this year. So they're not in any particular order. I organized them a little bit better by size, but this by no means establishes the order. I mean, it could be, but we'll get into that. So last year, like I spoke earlier or in a previous video, so last year I ended up reading 11 official books. I read a little bit more, maybe like three additional ones, but I ended up reading just 11 out of the 12 because of, well, what I discussed in that other, in the podcast. Not, that wasn't a video, that was a podcast episode. For the last book, which was After the Funeral by Agatha Christie. So if you want to hear my take on that, I'll link the podcast episode. What I had next was to decide which books to read, and that's what we're going to do today because I actually picked these out again, random selection from my bookshelf, books that I just had not read ever, and there are books that I hear that I've had years waiting for me to pick them up. And I thought, well, this is the best time to do it. So let's just get into it. As you can also tell, as we go into this, there are some titles that are in Spanish. I speak both English and Spanish, so I'll be telling you more or less the translation of the titles the best that I can. But I've discovered previously while doing that the translations can be very different from what I think they would be named in another language. So bear with me. So let's just go from the top and keep going to the bottom. So the first one is a Jules Verne. I don't know how to say his name. So Journey to the Center of the Earth. It's in Spanish. This is one of those. This is one of a few books in a, how to say, in a, it's like a box set of classics, and they're all like kind of like this size, and they're all really pretty. My dad bought it for me. So this is one book that I've never read or anything from him, by the way. So I thought, well, what the heck? Might as well do it. So this is the first one in this pile. The second one, so this one has two books inside. It has, well, let me take it, huh? I'm just gonna move them there. So this one is, they're both by H.G. Wells, and one is The Time Machine and the other is The Invisible Man. So I think I read The Invisible Man at some point. Well, let me show it to you. Hold on. And but The Time Machine I haven't. I think that depending on the length, I might actually read both because it's been a while since I've read The Invisible Man. I even watched the black and white version, the movie, or a summary of it. But anyway, I know what it's about, and I've read it. It's just been a while, so we'll see. But the book that I do want to read is The Time Machine. So there's that one. The third one is The Picture of Dorian Gray, I think is in English, but this one is in Spanish. See, another book from that collection, like the first one. So Oscar Wilde. I have not read anything from Oscar Wilde. It's similar to how last year I said I've never read Jane Austen. Well, I mean, it's seriously tragic for me that I've never read this man's work, not even one. So, not even for school. I don't think I ever was assigned anything from him. But anyway, I thought that this was a great opportunity to get into that. As you'll see, there are many titles that are kind of like classics or like these well-renowned authors that are like literature, or I guess that sounds really wrong, because they're all literature, but they're like popular fiction, and then there's like literature, like scholarly and all of that. For me, they're books, and I enjoy them. So anyway, this is the next book, The Process. I guess that's the same title in English, by Franz Kafka. I don't know that I've read it. I've read other things from him. Obviously the Metamorphosis, and there was another one that I read about an invention of torture, I think it was. I don't know. I forgot the title. I've read a couple of his things, but not this one. And I have had this for a while. I don't know if it was for, I don't know, a college class or something, or maybe I thought I should read it at some point, so I got it, but I haven't, so there we go. And then this one is by a Puerto Rican author named Ricardo Martí Ruiz. And this is El Finalito, or in English, I guess. So in English, the original book is called The Little Prince, right? Le Petit Prince, right? Prince. Ignore my French. Anyway, so what he did was, I guess, a little bit of a play on words and called it The Little Ending, because in Spanish, The Little Prince is called El Principito. So that could be interpreted, I guess, two ways: the little prince or the little beginning. So I guess he did a play on words and did the little ending. So el finalito. So I've had this for a while. Don't tell him that, please. And I have not read it. I just haven't gotten to it. And it's so short. Look at it. It's really short. So this is gonna be the time, and I'm gonna leave the biggest review for this. So stick around. um, this is by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, El Otoño del Patriarca. So, yep, Marquez, Garcia Marquez is a well-renowned Colombian author. He already passed away, but his work is still with us. So I've had this one for a while. I don't know why I have this one in particular. Like, I don't know if it was for a class or because I was interested in it. But yeah, uh, I thought I might as well read it. I've read from him as well, but I'm missing that book. This one was an impulse buy, so I am really curious about it. So, you know that last year was pretty much Agatha Christie year. So, I saw this at a bookstore line, and then I saw this just there. There were a few copies of this, and it's a cozy mystery, and then just the cover itself is like, I need this book. I have no idea. I didn't read the blurb. I don't read blurbs. I just pick up the freaking book and buy it if it looks interesting. It has yet to fail me, this method, so I recommend it. Anyway, it's called by Ellery Adams. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'm so sorry, lady. Mystery at the book club. Reading club, book club. I guess it's the same thing, right? Anyway, mystery at the book club. So, of course, I was going to buy it, right? And look how beautiful it is. I don't know. I would hire the person who made this design because I love it. I just love it. Anyway, the next book is Papa Goriot. I don't know if Honoré de Balzac. I don't know if that's how you say it. Anyway, so this one I know I had it for a college course, but I never actually got to read it. So there's that. But I want to read it. It's apparently a classic as well. Another Gabriel Garcia Marquez book, which is Cien Años de Soledad, or 100 Years of Solitude. So I'm gonna make my dad read it too, because he said, "Oh, I'm gonna watch the Netflix series." I'm like, "Nope, I refuse until I read the book." We have Los Hermanos Karamazov, or The Brothers Karamazov, by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And this also, uh, okay, so I think I was with this one. So, this next book is the Brothers Karamazov or the Hermanos Karamazov. Again, another one in Spanish. This one in particular, I know that. So, for a college course, I had to read Crime and Punishment, I think it was, by also Dostoevsky. And I loved that book so much that I think in class it was mentioned, this book was mentioned, but it was just too long and probably too profound to cover for that class for the amount of time we had. So I said, okay, let me just buy the book. And at some point I will read it because I was so interested in it. So yeah, I'm really curious about this one because I really wanted to read it, especially after reading Crime and Punishment, which I absolutely loved. I have to look if there's a movie adaptation. There must be, right? Um, Second to last, this one is Ángeles de Irizarry's Romance de Ciegos or uh, uh, Blind Romance or a Blind Person's Romance. I don't know how to translate that. So apparently this is a uh, historical fiction. Um, this one, honestly, I think we also got it in Colombia because there sometimes you walk down the streets and there's like in certain areas, right? And you see people with books just lying on the ground for you to buy them. And then I see covers again. That's how I pick so many books. And I saw this one and then this title. And back when this was, when my dad bought me this, he I was really into, I still am, but I was really into like historic, like fiction settings and, 1800s, that kind of period. So I was really into that. So I said, I need this book. Again, I have no idea what it's about, but I love the cover and the title also. It made me feel really curious. So I'm excited for this one. And it's really long, but I mean, I read Game of Thrones. I think I can handle it. And last but not least, Translation State by Anne Leckie. Leckie? I don't know how to say that, but anyway, I'm so sorry, lady. So this one, um, this was a gift from my dear husband. I forgot for what. I don't know if it was for Christmas or for, I don't know, but it was recent. It wasn't too far long ago. But since I had my hands full with the books from last year and I fell a little bit behind, as you could tell, I didn't get a chance to read it, but I said, hey, for next year, this is definitely gonna be in my um, book repertoire for 2025. And also, um, so, well, first of all, that's the end of my book list. It's completely inverted, but that's fine. This one in particular reminded me that I've been trying to find books that don't have series behind them. And I think this one might not be in that category. I'm not sure, but actually tried because we were at a bookstore and he said, pick a book and I'll buy it for you as a gift. And I'm like, yay! And I was looking to make sure that it had no series behind it, that I had to wait for it. And I think at the time I concluded if it looks interesting, I like the title translation. I translate. So I was very curious and said, okay, let's just get it. And yeah, that is my reading list. So I don't know in what order I'm gonna read this. I guess it doesn't really matter. Again, I might switch one or two books around because I wanted this one to be the first one, but or not not the first one, but earlier in the year. So we'll see what happens. But here are the books I'm gonna be reading, and this blog post will follow with the full list so you can see it, and perhaps I can put the correct translations there. And that's about it. Thank you so much for joining, and let's hope we actually finish this list 12 out of 12 next year or this at the end of the year. Bye.